Welcome back, basketball fans. If you've just joined us, we're right in the middle of dissecting one of the wildest trade proposals the NBA could ever see. Giannis Antetokounmpo, leaving Milwaukee to join the Golden State Warriors. But what happens if this history-making deal really comes together? Let's take you courtside to the chaos. First, the Warriors with Giannis would instantly become overwhelming favorites, not only in the Western Conference, but for the NBA title, perhaps even forming the most physically dominant team since the days of Shaq and Kobe. The duo of Giannis and Steph Curry, flanked by Draymond Green and still supporting pieces, would give Golden State a blend of speed, length, and experience. Almost impossible to match. Their offense would be nearly impossible to stop, and their switch-heavy defense would be a nightmare for anyone in the league. But let's not forget what this means in Milwaukee. Even though losing Giannis is a franchise-altering moment, the Bucks would soft retool themselves without tearing things down completely. By landing Jimmy Butler, they get a legitimate star with postseason experience and grit who can keep them competitive. Add in the fresh upside of Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski, and suddenly you see a Milwaukee roster with a defensive anchor in Butler, shooting and playmaking from Podziemski, plus the potential of Moody's all-around game. That's a core that could keep the Bucks in the playoff hunt, even as they rebuild. What about the draft picks? Milwaukee's front office has been desperate to regain future flexibility. With 3 unprotected firsts and 4 swaps, the Bucks would regain long-term control, opening up assets for future trades, or using them to draft and develop the next Milwaukee star. A process that every smart franchise needs to survive in today's NBA. The Western Conference shakeup. If Giannis really makes the leap, the entire Western Conference will have to rethink its plans. Imagine teams like the Lakers, Suns, Mavericks, all forced to confront a Warriors team featuring 2 MVPs and multiple former All-Stars. It would be a return to the Golden Dynasty days, perhaps marking another multi-year era of domination out west. But make no mistake, landing Giannis comes with risk. The Warriors would be all in, with their cupboards nearly bare of young talent and draft capital. Should injuries or chemistry issues strike, Golden State's future would suddenly look razor-thin. Yet, this is the gamble championship hungry. Teams have to consider, go big or go home. From a fan's perspective, this trade would bring back that sense of drama and unpredictability the NBA thrives on. Storylines would abound. Steph's chase for more rings, Giannis's legacy in a new city, Milwaukee's resilience, and perhaps even fresh rivalries born from the ashes. The trade would electrify social media, sports talk, and your daily group chats for months to come. There's emotion in the air just imagining this scenario. As a sports journalist, I can tell you, deals of this magnitude are rare, complicated, and heart-pounding. It's never easy for a franchise to say goodbye to a superstar, but sometimes the time is right for a new chapter, for both player and team. The Warriors have the assets and the aggression, and if Giannis wants to maximize his ring count, there's probably no better co-star than the greatest shooter in NBA history, Steph Curry. Timing is everything. The pieces are on the chessboard. All eyes are on the Bucks' next move, and Warriors management, hungry for one last ride with their core, is ready to write another page in basketball history. Right now, while the Golden State Warriors keep their eyes on the prize in the remaining playoff battles, there's a crucial conversation happening about what comes next, especially concerning Jonathan Kuminga's future with the team. The rising tension around this young forward is fueling speculation, and sources close to the organization say the writing is on the wall. A big trade may be closer than anyone anticipated. Kuminga's uncertain role and playoff struggles. Let's start with the facts. Jonathan Kuminga is entering restricted free agency soon, and his postseason has been, frankly, a roller coaster. Coach Steve Kerr's recent decision to bench Kuminga for 4 straight games signaled a clear loss of faith, even when an injury gave him a glimmer of hope to return. Specifically, Jimmy Butler's absence in Game 2. Kuminga barely managed to make a dent. His chance to shine? Game 3 against the Houston Rockets. But the opportunity seemed to slip right through his fingers. Golden State started him, perhaps hoping for a breakthrough, but by the crucial 4th quarter, Kuminga was back on the bench, watching as his teammates ran away with the game, outscoring the Rockets 35-22 and locking in a solid 11-point win. For Kuminga, it wasn't the resurgence he needed. A widening gap. Warriors' obvious play. Some might still hope Kuminga can bounce back, but inside Warriors headquarters, all eyes are shifting to his trade value, rather than a contract renewal. Why? Because when met with opportunity, like Game 4, with Butler returning strong and playing 40 minutes, Kuminga was yet again a DNP, did not play. That's 4 times in 6 games. The Warriors are up 3-1 in the series after a tight 109-106 victory, but Kuminga's absence only highlights the franchise's new focus, maximizing their assets. Instead of pondering how Kuminga fits, Warriors management is eyeing a high-profile swap. The question isn't, will Kuminga stay? It's, what can we get for him before free agency resets our options? Trade targets. Cam Johnson in the Golden State Mix Center. Cam Johnson, the Brooklyn Nets star who's been quietly linked with the Warriors ever since rumors swirled at the last trade deadline. Despite staying with the Nets, Johnson's shooting, off-ball movement, and physical presence would slot perfectly next to Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. The prospect of his three-point prowess, shooting nearly 40% from deep on over 7 attempts per game, would give the Warriors the kind of spacing and reliability they need to contend for another title. But is it realistic? According to Kyler Fox from Sports Illustrated, there's a path that makes a swap between Kuminga and Johnson more than just fan fiction. In trying to convince Golden State to give up on Kuminga, offering Johnson would be a smart move. Fox writes, emphasizing the similar salaries and positional fit. Importantly, Kuminga is 7 years younger and, in Fox's estimation, brings a higher ceiling than Johnson at this stage. That's the hope, at least. But as Kuminga sits, his trade value shrinks. Golden State might need to add a first-round pick to sweeten the deal. And any move depends on how much Brooklyn actually wants to invest in a prospect like Kuminga, and vice versa. The human element and what's next. Let's not forget the human side. Kuminga showed flashes of brilliance, once seen as a core building block for the post-Curry era. But the fit never seemed quite right. With Cam Johnson, the Warriors could fill a glaring need, both in shooting and experience. Johnson is due $20.5 million next season, almost exactly what Kuminga might command in restricted free agency. The math lines up, but emotionally, it's a tough decision. Is it time to let go of potential in favor of a proven sharpshooter? Still, every move comes with risk. Warriors fans, what do you think? Should the Warriors gamble on Johnson, send Kuminga packing, and maybe even add a draft pick to sweeten the pot? Or is the smart move to hold on to a young talent, even if his role is unclear? This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most critical in recent Warriors history. Every decision counts, and how the front office plays its cards might set the tone for years to come. The only guarantee? Drama, debate, and a fan base holding its breath. Friends, smash that like button and let your voice be heard in the comments. What's your call on Kuminga's future? Stay tuned, because we'll be tracking every twist and turn right here, bringing you inside access and real emotion all post-season long. This is your spot for all things Warriors, where the news hits home and the debate never sleeps.